Hello everyone, good afternoon. Good afternoon classmates, good afternoon Dr. Montebon. I am Agnes Coino and I will report the two topics in Unit 4 which is coaching and mentoring. First, I will report about coaching and mentoring. So what is coaching? It is said that coaching is a useful way to improve people's skills and abilities, to resolve work issues, handle specific aspects of the job, and boosting performance. Coaching is an approach where an experienced individual, or what we call the coach, helps one another, helps another person, or what we call the coachee. In classroom setting, teachers are considered as the coach and students are considered as the coachee. The purpose in coaching is to enhance the skills, knowledge, and abilities in order to achieve personal goals. Coaching is also a collaborative process that focuses on unlocking potential, offering feedback, and providing guidance for improvement. In classroom setting, coaching can be viewed as a method where teachers or mentors guide students to maximize their learning potential. In a classroom, teachers act as coaches by providing individual feedback to students in order to improve the skills of the students. Teachers also help students develop academic skills like critical thinking, reading comprehension, and scientific reasoning. For example, a teacher might coach a student on better study habits or note taking techniques to enhance learning. Uh, Effective coaching is tailored to the needs of the individuals, most especially to the students. In the classroom, teachers often have differentiate their instruction. We teachers give different instructions to the students because we all know that students have their also what we call the different learning styles. And in that way, we teachers adjust the content, process, or product based on a student's readiness, interest, and learning style. For example, a teacher may offer extra support for students, which is the student may be struggling with a concept, or provide advanced materials for those who are excelling. And next, we have this what we call mentoring. Mentoring is a relationship between two individuals in which the more experienced mentor uses the greater knowledge and understanding of the work or workplace to support the development of the less experienced mentee. Mentoring is a relationship in which a more experienced or knowledgeable individual, which is what we call the mentor, and that mentor offers guidance, advice, and support to a less experienced person, and that is what we call the mentee. We teachers, we are called as mentor, and our students, we can call them as mentee in a classroom setting. And the mentor serves as a, a role model, providing insights, sharing experiences, and helping the mentee grow both personally and professionally. While coaching focuses more on a specific task or performance, mentoring typically addresses broader development, including personal growth and career guidance. And in classroom setting, mentoring occurs when a teacher older student takes a longer term interest in a student's overall development. For example, a teacher may mentor a student throughout the school year, helping them with academic and personal challenges, as well as fostering a supportive, trust-based relationship. Teachers often mentor students by discussing potential career paths or academic interests, especially in secondary or higher education settings. This may involve giving advice on subject choices or course choices, sharing information about different career options, or encouraging students to pursue higher education opportunities. So that is what we call coaching and mentoring. Next, we have here the differences between coaching and mentoring. First, in coaching, it is task-oriented. And in mentoring is relationship-oriented. Coaching is a short-term, mentoring is a long-term. Coaching resolves more around specific performance areas or issues, while mentoring revolves around developing mentee center. In coaching, agenda is set by the coach, focused on achieving specific immediate goals, while in mentoring, agenda is set by the mentee, with the mentor providing support and guidance. And last is coaching is structured in nature and meetings scheduled on a regular basis. And on the other hand, mentoring is informal. Meetings takes place as and when mentee needs guidance and or support. In short, coaching is in short, coaching in the classroom setting involves a teacher acting as a mentor, providing both guidance to help students become self-directed learners. The coaching process in education fosters student confidence, independence, and a growth mindset, all crucial for lifelong learning. On the other hand, mentoring in the classroom goes beyond academic instruction, helping students with their holistic development. A teacher mentor acts as a guide and encouraging personal growth, building self-esteem, and fostering both academic and life skills. This type of support nurtures students' potential, helping them navigate not only the academic world, but also future challenges in their personal and professional lives. Next, we will proceed to the characteristics of a good coach. Number one, it is said that a good coach is knowledgeable and skilled because they or the coach or the teacher they possess a deep understanding of the subject or the area they are coaching, allowing them to provide accurate guidance and relevant insights. Second is we have here a good coach knows the strengths and weaknesses of his or her coachee. And by recognizing strengths, the coach or we teachers can encourage and build on them to boost confidence and performance of the students. And at the same time, by identifying weaknesses, the coach or the teacher can focus on areas for improvements, offering target strategies to overcome challenges. And then the third one is a good coach makes expectations clear at beginning of each session. So by clearly defining goals, roles and outcomes, both the students and the teachers understand what is expected and how progress will be measured. The fourth one is a good coach is patient and tolerant when coachee is slow or makes mistakes. And of course, teachers, we must be patient. And by being patient, the teachers provide a supportive environment where the students feel safe to learn. They can ask questions and they can grow at their own pace or at their own place. And the fifth one is we have here a good coach knows when to be tough and kick butt if the coachee consistently underperform. So a good teacher or a good coach knows when to be tough and apply firm guidance if the students consistently underperforms, and that is to ensure accountability and encouraging improvements. Next is number 6. A good coach listens to coachee and tries to understand their point of view. 7. A good coach expresses encouragement and optimism when difficult issues are discussed. Next, a good coach asks for commitment to solutions that have been agreed upon. Next, a good coach offers supportive and assistance to coachee to implement change and achieve desired goals. And then the last characteristic of a good coach is we have the teacher or the good coach must or he or she follows up on coaching sessions in a timely manner. Next, we have here the benefits for mentoring or benefits of mentoring, and this is for the mentee or for the students. First, guidance and support. The mentoring provides a valuable or the mentor provides I know, I'm so sorry. This is for for mentee, so this must be for the students. So the students provide a valuable advice and direction for navigating challenges and achieving goals. Okay, again, for the benefits of mentoring, this is for the mentee or this is for the students. The first one is guidance and support. It provides valuable advice and direction for navigating challenges and achieving goals. The second one is skills development. It helps through mentoring, it helps build important skills like communication, problem solving, and leadership. The third one is increased confidence. So, through mentoring, it boosts self-esteem through constructive feedback and encouragement. Next is we have career growth. It offers insights and advice on career planning and advance advancement. Okay. For the fifth one, we have the personal growth. So, it enhances self-awareness and emotional intelligence, aiding in personal development. And then for the sixth, we have motivation and accountability. It keeps the mentee or the students motivated and focused on achieving their goals. And then for the last one, we have here the long-term relationship. Mentoring relationships often evolve into long-term, professional, or personal connection, offering ongoing support and guidance beyond the initial mentoring phase. Okay, next is let us go with the benefits of mentoring for the mentor or for the teachers. Okay, number one, personal satisfaction. Teachers or the mentors often experience a sense of fulfillment from helping others grow and succeed. Okay, second, enhance leadership skills. Mentoring develops leadership and coaching abilities, improving communication and interpersonal skills. Next is broadened perspectives. So in engaging with mentees or engaging with the students exposes the mentors or the teachers to new ideas and viewpoints, fostering personal growth. The next one is reflecting on own goals and practices. This process encourages mentors to what do you call this one to examine their strengths and weaknesses, enabling them to identify or that can be identified or in that way they can identify areas for improvement. And then for the fifth one, we have the legacy building. Mentoring allows mentors or allows teachers to share their knowledge and experiences, contributing to the development for the students or for the future leaders. And then for the last one, reinforce knowledge. Teaching and guiding others or teaching and guiding students helps the teachers deepen their own understanding of their field or the subject matter. Okay, we will proceed to the next, which is the GROW model. So in coaching and mentoring, the GROW model can be used for for the two, which is the coaching and mentoring. The GROW model is widely used framework in mentoring and coaching that provides a structured approach to a goal setting and of course for the problem solving. It helps coaching and mentoring uh, or it helps the what do you call this one? It helps the coach or the mentor or the teacher and the coachee or what we call the mentee or the students to clarify objectives. To clarify objectives, explore options, and create actionable plans. And the acronym GROW stands for first is GROW uh, or sometimes this can be called as goal, and it can define what the coach wants to achieve. And R stands for reality. It assess the current and it assess the current situation and understand where the coach stands in relation to their goal. Third is O, which is stands for options. It brainstorms and explore various options and strategies that the coachee can consider to reach their goals. And then for the last one is the will, which is we can call this one will or way forward. Uh, it determines the specific actions the coaches will take to achieve their goals. And we have here the questions for the goal. First is for the goal. What do you want? What are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Why do you want to achieve this goal? What would the benefits if you achieve this goal? What would you like to change? How will you measure results? And the coach or the teacher and the students must agree on objectives for each session. So those are the questions, or this are the question for the goal. Next is reality. Where are you now? Where are you now in relation to your goal? What progress have you made? What is working well right now? Why haven't you reached the goal already? Okay, you can incorporate self-assessment, offer feedback, and the other is you can ask if what made you realize the need to improve, and you can ask your students if what are their concerns. Okay, for options, what could you do? What do you think you need to do next? It offers options on what are possible solution, what are possible techniques or strategies to do next. You can also discuss options, the pros and cons, help to decide the best option, and of course, who can ask to help you. And then for the last one, we have the will, or we can call this sometimes as way forward. Okay, what will you do? When will you start? What could stop you moving forward? So, what are the hindrances, or what are the mga, what they call is the babag in moving forward? And how will you overcome this? How can you keep yourself motivated? When do you need to review progress? And what do you need from me? What do you need from the coach or from the teacher? So overall, a Grow Model is an effective tool for guiding the coaching and mentoring process, helping individuals achieve their goals through structured reflection and action planning. Okay, in summary, coaching and mentoring in a classroom setting play vital roles. Okay, play vital roles in classroom setting, contributing significantly to the teacher as well as the students, development. So I guess that is the end of my report for the coaching and mentoring.